Let's now take a look at the fundamental form of the ears and then look at a very quick shorthand way of drawing the ears. The great thing about the ears in terms of their detail elements is that they're actually pretty straightforward to draw, and you can learn it off by heart, the basic kind of structure. So the first form we want to learn is really just this very squished cylinder, right? So it kind of looks maybe like a speaker or something. I'm kind of showing us a little bit of a side view there. Here's a plane, and we can see through in the drawn through section here, the side plane, and this area here is where it would attach to the head. So of course the basic form, right? It's not really that anatomically informed. It's just to give us that kind of volume that we want to get. And what we want to do is kind of shave away a section of the form. So we're going to kind of cut a cross section through here, something like this. We're going to cut that piece off, right? You can imagine slicing through it. And it's going to give us a form more like this in structure. All right. So this is curving. That's drawing through. That's the back plane there. We've cut a section off of that shape so that we get something that kind of protrudes a little bit in its basic forms. And let's just adjust this and straighten it a little bit here. And it gives us more of that overall shape, right? Which is looking a little bit more like an ear, but we want to get that structural form going in there. And before we look at anything further in detail, there's some important things to realize about the ears, and that the ears don't really fly off the side of the head in this kind of fashion. You know, this is kind of something you may typically see. They don't really fly off in that kind of fashion per se, although you do get people whose ears do stick out quite a lot. But what I mean is it's not just a matter of this thin flap. You know, if we were to draw this exact thing in a side view, you know, it's not a matter of this kind of thin form just kind of winging out over here like that. What we want to keep in mind when we're thinking about the ear is definitely this form, because when the ears come out of the side of the skull, or out of the side of the head, should I say, they're kind of like a speaker or horn in a sense, that there's skin you don't really see at the back, then the opening area, and what we tend to see is the front section that swings around that, right? Swings around that, and then the ear connects down here, and as we know, you know, elements go inside the ear and so forth, so on and so forth. But we want to remember that there is really this form and the structure coming out of the head, just very much like this basic form shape here. And then we have the ear shape coming out of that and on top of it, creating a rim, if you wish. All right. So that really is the basic forms. All right. Now, when we look at shape, the shape of the ear, you know, typically speaking, you have this type of shape happening for the ear, and it will vary. You can get ears that are kind of have less curvature in them, and people who have earlobes that connect, as I colloquially call them, connectees. Their earlobes kind of connect down. They don't swing under very much. Just genetic differences and genetic differences, yeah, between people who have more rounded earlobes and people who have connected type of earlobes. All right. But what I want to actually show you, apart from the basic form structure, is how to easily learn the interior lines of the ear and to get yourself into a mode where you can just kind of grasp it very quickly and very easily. A friend of mine had taught this method to me, and it's almost too easy. And you think, well, this can't be the professional way to do it. Well, I'll admit that I've been drawing ears like this for years. And really it is that you learn this very flat 2D kind of pattern off by heart. So first you have this ear shape, very much like that. And then you draw in another arc here, very much like that. All right. Let's in fact do this in different colors, right? So we do step one will be this. This is very much a how to draw book type of way of teaching this, but it's just really effective. Step 2, you do that arc. Let's put that 2 over here and we'll see why now. And then step 3, we put in a line there and we bring this line down, and this is quite important, where we want to create effectively a type of bottle shape here, like a bottle, then curls in and around, like that. Okay, I've drawn that a little bit too far out. Let's just keep it in a little bit. Have the bottle shape come down here, in, around, like that. Let's say that's step 3. And then step 4, we can pull another line down here. Sometimes, depending on the view, you might pull it from under here and have that overlap, giving that sense of form. Step 4, and then step 5, you can, let's do this in like a purple. You can then indicate these 2 lines. And in a nutshell, at least, for general use purposes, unless you're going crazy and doing ear portraiture or something, pictures of just ears, where you really want that anatomical depth, generally speaking, this will get you as far as you really ever need to be when drawing ears. Because when you start shading these zones, and of course when you're doing advanced anatomy studies, you start understanding just how brilliant this simplistic model of drawing the ear really is. Just learning these parts in these steps. And so I definitely advise rewatching this particular video so that you grasp these individual steps and just draw this basic flat 2D model. Because essentially what you will do is, when you're drawing ears, and let's get an ear going over here. Let's draw an ear using the very same theory, but we're going to just do it on a kind of a 3/4 view here. Let me get a head in. All right, let's draw an ear in 3/4 view. All right, we'll place it there. You can see that I immediately tilt the ear out a little bit, and that's because of that cone shape. That sort of, what am I saying, cone shape? That's just speaker shape that we kind of shave the section off, so it tilts at an angle. And we also want to remember that what we learned in the side view of the head in terms of proportions, that the ear doesn't sit straight up like this against the head, right? That would be its like sort of vertical axis. No, it tilts slightly to the back. Something important to remember, right? It tilts slightly to the back. And so I'll kind of just put in an ellipse. I usually imagine this section because it's usually covered. And then I go in and draw in that ear shape. Okay, I'll just rough it in here. And doing all those exact steps. I'll get that one in. Put that line in. Pull that down into a bottle type of shape. Curl it around. Bring in this other line. And put in one line there, another one there, and that's pretty much it, right? Usually this section is actually a little bit more narrower, this bottle section, or at least in terms of the scale of the ear. But that's pretty much how I would rough it out. I just bring it up a little bit more, give it a bit more earlobe. And again, you can easily use this same theory if you want to do different styles of ears. For example, if we want to do an elf ear, all we do is we take the same theory. Let's draw an elf ear over here. I'm going to start with a normal ear shape. And I'm just going to make it pointier. This is more of a Lord of the Rings type of elf ear. And I keep the exact same theories. I just, instead of now putting the line as an arc, I'm going to put it straight and pull it down here. Same interior ear structure, really. Just kind of folds down into this bottle shape, turns around, goes into a loop here by the ear hole. You can add that extra line there, pull in this line here, and indicate that line there, and boom, there's your elf ear. All right, just for example purposes, let me just draw a normal 3D ear one more time. So if this is our head over here, it's the side of our head, and we want to draw the ear in. We'll get that ear shape in, remembering that we've got that drawn through kind of speaker shape happening there, that form coming through there. Get the basic ear shape in. Put in this curved line. Now at a 3/4 angle, it wouldn't be directly straight like this, directly arced like that. It's going to kind of curve around, and then there's going to be some kind of overlap. And you can see how the overlap shows the form of the back round section of the ear, right? Of the back rim in a sense. And draw in this line, this one. Once again, pull it down to that bottle shape. Get that little interior little flap going. and put in the line there, put in the line there, and we're done, right? Basics of the ear are in, and it was really just a matter of learning this off by heart. All right, so that is it for the ear. Let's move on.